Surf Tech channel, recording on location at Eastern Line Surf Shop in Belmar, New Jersey. Here on episode 5, we have the brand new Channel Islands Dumpster Diver 2. Huge thank you to Dean Schoonover and Channel Islands for letting us demo this board. Really excited to bring you guys this episode. If you haven't already, click down here and subscribe to the channel. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, keep the channel alive. And if you don't like it, leave a comment telling us how we can improve what you don't like about it, and we'll try to be better on the next one. I'm your host, James Margetis. I'm 5'11", 185 pounds. The boards that I typically ride are shortboard shapes in the 30 to 32 liter range. Shortboard, high performance fish, anything like that. On this episode, we're bringing you the Dumpster Diver 2, brand new model from Channel Islands. The one that we rode came in at 5'10", 19.5", 2 5/8 with roughly 32.1 liters. This is slightly narrower and longer than the stock boards. If I had to pick a stock one, I would ride the 5'9" stock dimensions, which are 5'9", 19.75", 2.5, very similar to the Happy Everyday, and I believe that's around 31 liters in volume. With this being narrower and thicker than stock, it also had a little bit more volume than the stock boards. Still really good paddle, fuller rail. This one is the white Spine Tech, which is brand new for this year. Also on Channel Islands custom orders, you can now pick the color of your spine. They have a variety of colors to pick from, which is awesome. But the white for this model is really cool. It's a very interesting look. That was special request by Dane Reynolds for this model. This board comes stock as a thruster, and I would just recommend keeping it as a thruster. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I do like to experiment, try quads thrusters, but this board worked insane as a thruster. On this one, I rode it with the FCS2 Performer medium fins, which I typically ride a large rake template. This is a medium neutral template, but with this board, it worked incredible. The nose and tail width on this board are slightly narrower than that of the Happy Everyday, but slightly more of that of the Sampler, which was Dane Reynolds' previous model before this. But it all comes in around the same volume and similar dimensions. So a 5'9" Dumpster Diver 2 comes in around the same volume as a 5'10" Happy Everyday and a 5'10" Sampler. The fuller rails on it, I would recommend going a little bit thinner, the same thickness as your Happy Everyday. This has a staged rocker, so it is flat through the middle, flips up towards the nose, and flips out a little towards the tail. Lower rocker overall than a Happy Everyday, similar to that of a Sampler, a little bit more in the nose, which I liked a lot. They made this board, I feel, a little bit more user-friendly than the Happy Everyday. The Happy Everyday is a really high-performance board for what it is. It has a lot of curve in it, whether it's the nose, the tail. Rocker-wise, it has a lot of curve, a more continuous rocker than this board. But that's all the things that makes this board incredible and very user-friendly. It's very flat, easy paddle, easy drive. It's a single concave throughout. And what that does, this board has incredible get up and go right from the start. As soon as you stand up, this board's ready to go down the line. Very fast, really forgiving as well. Very controlled on turns. A lot of room for user error, which is good for all of us. You know, we're not out there winning WCT heats, so the more user-friendly the board is, more room for operator error, the better. The good things about this board, what it does really well, it paddles really well. It carries the foam pretty far out to the rails, as well as up to the nose. Even though this nose is narrower than the Happy Everyday, the foam that comes up allows it to paddle really well. And I would say this actually paddles the same, if not better, than my Happy Everyday. As well as the tail, there's a lot of foam carried out in the tail. I mentioned earlier that this board has incredible control through turns. I was a little bit nervous at first riding medium fins. I haven't rode medium fins since I was a teenager. I typically ride a large raked template, and that was a concern for me. But the first day I rode it, it was not an issue at all. I think it's due to the straighter outline of this tail, which seems to be a common theme on Dane Reynolds boards. It's this straight tail. Really nice and forgiving, turns really well, turns on a dime. This board is an amazing groveler. I've had the pleasure of riding it in a couple not so favorable days, some 1 foot slop days, and this board went really, really well. I haven't had a board with this kind of shortboard shape that went really well in 1 foot waves in a long time. And if you've seen our Happy Everyday episode, we really like that board for 2 to 6 foot waves. It went really well. This is your 1 to 5 foot board. This board goes amazing in those conditions, flatter faces, slop, need to generate some speed. This board is fast. It has it built-in speed. It's great. The only things that it did not do well are due to the flatter rocker. On some steeper sections, the nose kind of caught on me a couple times, which could have been user error. I'm not a WCT caliber surfer. I don't claim to be. But that was one thing that I noticed, is the nose dug on me a couple times on some steeper sections. But other than that, I mean, this board is incredible. I would recommend you ride this board in the same volume as Happy Everyday, your standard everyday shortboard daily driver. Ride it in that same volume, if not a hair more volume. Volume does not hurt, especially if you plan on riding it in those 1 foot conditions. It'll just help you paddle in and help you generate some speed in some weaker sections. This board is great for anyone. I would put beginner to pro as the skill level for this board. I think everyone would have fun on it. I think that a pro would have fun on this as his small wave competition board. I think that intermediate to advanced could really have fun on this as a daily driver. And if you're gearing towards a 2-board quiver, this would be your 1 to 5 foot board, and then get another board, maybe a CI Pro or a Happy Traveler for when it gets over 5 foot. But this is your daily driver. And then for newer surfers coming off of a foam board, a long board, a fish shape, wanting to get into shortboarding, this is a great board, very user-friendly, flatter rockers, very forgiving. The rails are very forgiving. The whole overall package that this board delivers is user-friendly, forgiving, and it allows you to really maximize your fun, which is what we're all trying to do in surfing. This board retails in the Spine Tech around $995, under $1,000. In the PU, it comes in around $800 to $830. And Channel Islands, new for this year, has introduced ECT technology, which is eco carbon technology. And that price point is in between that of the Spine Tech and the polyurethane constructions. We do have a board coming in ECT, and we really look forward to bringing you an episode on that. We also have the Dumpster Diver 2 fins that we will be testing later on in the channel. We were unable to try them in this board because this is FCS2 and they only make them in futures, but we're really excited to test those and bring you a review on those. I really love this board. It was a ton of fun, great fun to review. Thank you again to Eastern Line Surf Shop. Thank you again to Dean Schoonover in Channel Islands for allowing us to review this board. If you have any questions or recommendations, you can also leave that in the comments. We will get back to you. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Big shout out to Morgan Downs for all he does filming. Big shout out to Hunter Chogu as well for the scene and the site development that he does for us. And see you on the next one.